Hey, it's Bia Brander. I'm back. Today we can discuss the book Unscripted by MJ DeMarco. I was sent this book on recommendation from a colleague, and he was very enthusiastic about it. So so I said, okay, I'll read it. Lately I don't read many books at all, business books, because there's nothing new in the world of business unless it's in crypto, which I educate myself about crypto, but that's pretty much it lately. So I started reading this book and I was expecting great things about it, and well, let's be honest, it was a big disappointment. Why was it a big disappointment? Well, the thing is that, okay, let's do this. There's good news about it and there's bad news about this book. The good news is, if you like reading and if you enjoyed War and Peace, then you'll love this book, because it's almost as long and almost as nonsensical, So that's the good news. The bad news is that the author spends 2/3 of the book, which is, 250 pages, complaining about the state of the world and complaining about life, basically. He spends 250 pages of, 400 pages or something like that, complaining about things. Look, if I wanted to spend money, or if I wanted to read a book by a complainer, I wouldn't be spending money on it. So, 250 pages just complaining about the world, how things are, and how life sucks, and from somebody who claims to be a multi-millionaire, which, by the way, means, in marketing speak, I have 2 million, okay? And, for somebody who claims to be a multi-millionaire, he sure complains about life a lot. Shouldn't he just be enjoying his life? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Then after about 2/3 of complaining, then we sort of finally come to the meat of the book. And the meat is his 5 laws of business. And those are spelled cents. I don't know if that's a great marketing to name 5 laws of business where you claim that you're going to make millionaires out of people by reading this book, if they read this book, and then calling the 5 laws of business cents, C-E-N-T-S. I don't know. Anyway, okay, the naming wouldn't be such a problem if actually all the laws if all the laws worked. 3 of the 5 laws, cents, 3 of the 5 laws are not actually applicable. They don't even work. If you follow these 3 laws, you're gonna fail. Okay, there's law of entry, law of need, law of time, and some other stuff. It doesn't matter really. 2 of them, time and entry, yeah, okay, those 2 apply. But let's give an example of the law of the law of need. Well, the law it states that you have to fill the need in the market, that you have to sell something that people need so you can sell them. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to sell if they don't need it. Newsflash, most things that people buy in the modern world are wants, not needs. Okay? Most of the things. That's one flaw. The second flaw is that most of the great fortunes were made by supply side, not the demand side of the economics. Let me explain. Somebody comes with something totally new and people don't even know that they need or want that thing before they see that thing. And once they see it, they say, okay, I want this. And all the greatest fortunes have been made like that, from the supply side, not from the demand side. So that's the second flaw. And this is a fatal flaw, actually. So if you follow this thing, you might be moderately successful because you're going to be competing with the rest of the people that are filling needs and wants. And there's lots of people and there's going to be huge competition, and when there's competition it all comes down to price. If the products are sort of the same quality and sort of they do the same thing, it all comes down to price. So this law and two other laws are totally nonsensical and they don't work for big success. For just, average little small things where you're gonna compete like crazy on price with somebody, don't do that, okay? You can if you want to, but I wouldn't recommend it. Don't do it. So these 5 laws, 3 of them don't work, 2 of them are okay. So this is supposed to be the meat of the book. And then after that is just more waffling and, talking about stuff that doesn't matter about business. So, I mean, it was a big disappointment. It was just basically wasting time. So, the author, I guess, it's, let's say, he knows his stuff, But the problem is, he claims to be a multimillionaire, which in marketing speak means I have 2 million, at least, but probably about 2 million. Everybody that has 2 million or a little bit more say, oh, I'm a multimillionaire. Okay? You can do that on investing in a 401k and your employer matching your funds and buying 1 or 2 houses, and that's it. I mean, you don't have to spend 20 years in business to do that, okay? You don't have to do that. You can just be an employee and just invest in 401k, invest a little bit, have a matching of your employer, buy just a few real estate, buy some real estate, not a lot, just a little bit, and you're a multimillionaire in 20 years. Easy. But this guy says to bust your butt in business, to take huge risks, to work a lot, to have employees, to deal with all the taxes and all the regulation. And okay, in IT there's not much regulation, but everything changes, right? But you're taking huge risks in business, huge risks. And if you're not that sort of person who can take risks, who's a cool-headed person, who has anxiety about everything, then I don't think that business is for you. So the more sure way to become a millionaire is just to do what I said before. I mean, he says, I don't know what he said. I think he said that he spent 20 years in business and in investing to earn, I don't know, $2 million or whatever he has. If he has that. I mean, why would you bust your butt for 2 million for 20 years? That's nothing. That's almost nothing. My net worth is the same after just a couple of years. Okay? I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, I wouldn't follow this at all. Cents, come on, man. The only thing that you're gonna earn by following these laws are cents, not dollars, cents. I mean, it's crazy. Anyway, I don't usually do book reviews, but you know, if a book is particularly good or particularly bad, I will probably review it. So I guess I started with the particularly bad, but doesn't matter. It is what it is. So, and also the author is supposedly around, I don't know, about around 50 years old, and he is single and childless, so you know, spending his time writing books and spending his time on business forums. So honestly, you know, I wouldn't take success advice from somebody who is single and childless into his 50s, because I mean, it's fine if you don't want to have kids, but at least you can have some legacy. You know, writing books that people will forget in a few years is not legacy, okay? It's not legacy, really. So I wouldn't take advice from a childless person, you know, into his old age. That's just me, I guess, you know. But it really doesn't say a lot about the character of this person, you know. So that's it. See you next time. Cheers.